Hello. Hi. Oh, block. Goodbye. No. I have nothing to say.
Hey, just want to let you know I got my COVID test today.
You know what? I'm like trying to have a good day, and I feel like you're just bringing me down. Like, I'm good. I have therapy in a few hours. I just don't want to deal with this. Like, I feel like this is a personal attack on my happiness. Just come in here with this bad news.
Oh, God.
Like, he's trying to ruin it for me. Beauty bite. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody.
And this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It is the weekend, so you know what that means. Olives! Nah, I'm not feeling coffee right now, at the moment, to be honest, so this is non-coffee talk, I suppose. I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's safe. Look after yourselves. Look after the folks around you. Yes, I have a sty in my eye. I tried to put a compress on it, but, so it goes. So I'm keeping my glasses on, and I might be winking a little. So today, we are going to catch up with our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, and Foodie Beauty at present. So we did live last week, I believe, and it was a pretty good time. Good live, good folks. We were low, if non-existent, on trolls, good conversations. We're a big umbrella kind of channel. There's a room for, like, if you think you don't fit in, come here and lurk. It'll be a good time. So we went over some of the live stuff. There was the stuff with the accusations about Natter and sexual assault from another woman, which Chantal seems to have grieved, gotten over, and she's moving on afterwards because she thought there were some holes in the woman's story. Let's see. We covered a lot of territory because there's a lot going on. I'm finding at this point, right after the weekend, there's something. Then midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there's some deleted live about some nonsense, and then at the end of the week, something's coming up. So I'm trying to keep in the motion of, like, looking at what's happening. Today, we're going to take the same sort of angle. I have a few faces of Foodie Beauty that I would like to show. It's the businesswoman, the lover, and the friend. Because during this week's content, you can kind of break up her behavior into a few different ways, and I'll pull in some examples to try to show you of what each is going on. I'm going to miss some stuff, because she deleted stuff. She deleted some community posts, not the ones that make her look like shit, and a couple of the other things that came up. So feel free to fill in below, and let's get going. So, Foodie Beauty, the businesswoman. Now, she talked about her numbers. She talked about her money last week. She talked about how much she makes. At least she did math last month, and it was $12K, which is a nice take. Now, she does live in Canada, so I imagine her taxes are a little higher than here in the States, depending. And also, she is bankrupt, or has declared bankruptcy a few times. I bet because she probably didn't pay her taxes and other stuff. But at any rate, she has a decent amount of money coming in. Zero credit, but good money coming in. She also said this week that she has about 600 VIBs, the Beezers, and it's $5 a pop. So 600 times 5, she's got base about $3,000 coming in. Again, YouTube takes a cut of like 30% or so, but still, that's a nice little dependable monthly chunk of change coming in. And she had said even if she lost a few hundred VIBs, others will take their place, and she really don't care. And I have to say, as far as being a professional of sorts, professional what, I'm not sure. She's raking it in and holding on to it. Now, it's challenging for her, I would imagine, because she's, YouTubing for two. She's taken some direction and kind of sort of helped Pete set up with a channel, and then Natter with his channel, and she was doing more for his than hers for a period of time. Which I don't like him. I thought he was a scumbag before it was obvious he was a scumbag. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. They can do whatever makes them happy, I suppose. So, she knows drama the last month or two has been so dramatic. And if drama equals money, why would she stop? Why would she stop? You know what I mean? I'm like, how could someone be so reckless? How could someone make such poor decisions? How can someone do X, Y, Z and not even think about, the consequences of it for herself or anybody else who's connected to her? And it pays. It pays. So I think she'll just continue to do it. Um, she was particularly worried, not really on paper, but like Natter is sucking up about half her money. Plus, if she's with Natter, I suspect there's party favors involved. And he would be a vacuum for things like money, as far as cash for real, party favors, eggplant, tracksuits, whatever the fuck else he likes. That would be there. And just eats her money up, and she gives it to him for reasons known only to her. I'm suspecting the worst stereotypical thing is going on, that she may not feel like she has a whole lot to offer, and so she's paying him to keep him. That's sad. I feel like somewhere underneath that awful stereotype is happening, and that she feels like she has to make up for something, the thing she defends all the time, that she feels like she has to compensate for that with money. I don't know. That's a crude look at it, but it crossed through my mind because I don't know. So anyway, yeah, she's working for two. And the money goes quick. And when you're partying with someone with money coming in, and Chantal gets paid once a month, so it always looks like a lot of money when you get paid once a month. I had a job when I was in college, right after college, and my salary was good at the time. I was living in Philadelphia, so cost of living being different, and I had a degree at the time, so my salary started a little higher. I'd be broke by the middle of the month, and my fixes were alcohol and food. And that was it. And between drinking a fifth a day and ordering a lot of takeout, because I had some food issues, I'd order about $40 worth of takeout a day, binge, and then purge afterwards. So even if you're not getting crystal or you're not getting the expensive type of drugs, you're not getting an 8-ball or anything like that, you can still have fixes and fixations that are, when you dig in that hard, you'll blow through money. I don't know how I blew through that much on pizza and vodka, but I did. I'd be broke at the end of the month, telling everybody I knew that my wallet was stolen or I lost it, some crap like that, for them to spot me 100 till the end of the month. And then I'd ask them again. And then it'd be over, I'd get paid, and that was it. And until the money ran out, I was like so forlorn and pathetic by the end of the month when the money was gone. I see her, I see that, because as soon as we gear up to the 21st, it's like party time, the phone's blowing up in the lives, and you know who it is. It's whoever she says it is, and it's the same person whoever she says it isn't. She doesn't have a whole lot of friends, at least that make it to the channel. She's got those 2 cats, Natter, and Pete's. And that's pretty much it. And we'll talk about friendship a little bit later. So, working girl. Then we have Foodie Beauty, the lover, the vixen, the woman about town, the single gal who's out there trying things. It only started like that. She was playing on Tinder, and she was playing on Plenty of Fish, and swiping X way and left, right, whichever the one is where you want to get laid. And she was zooming around talking to people. And she ended up with Dude, who she's not seeing. At the beginning of this week, she wasn't, because she was horrified by his alleged behavior. Then she found a good reason to stay. Even though it was totally believable what this woman had said. Enough that a lot of people did. And then apparently there was holes in the story about the woman who accused Natter of allegedly assaulting her. So that was enough for her to say, I'm going to move on and give him another chance. Okay. From Never Again, Sick to Death, live streams, confessions, contradictions. She went live saying all sorts of crap about him. You know how when she gets mad, she tells all the private stuff to humiliate him, and then she has to walk it back, and he tells her to get it back, make it right, da 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 da. Real smug in the way he does it. I don't know. I'm a softie and a bit of a sucker, but I don't even think I would put up with that. I really don't think I would. Smart, confident people can still end up in an abusive relationship, though. It doesn't mean that can't happen. But, I don't know. Rent paying, bill paying. The guy's garbage. Anyway, she's currently in therapy. And part of what's going on her therapy, she says, okay, grain of salt, because we're talking about Chantal. Okay, I've started more naive than I am now. I am hopeful for her, but that doesn't mean I'm missing what's happening exactly. She's currently in therapy, according to her. It's like her second session, and she seemed pretty emotional about it. But Chantal doesn't know how to talk to people without trying to manipulate. Therapists can smell that. They might even tell her about it during the middle of a session. If that were the case, she'd leave. Because someone who's seasoned, or even not so seasoned, if you know people, you don't need a degree to know people. You either can read people or you can't in certain situations. And anybody who can read people and has a few letters after their name, you don't have to, but if you do, you can spot it. You can spot it. Anybody who's ever been into a party lifestyle, anybody who can just tell, whose gut is good, and whose, their eye is pretty good for that kind of thing, can see it. That's most of her viewers, it seems like, at this point. She's got about 600 people who love her, or just come for the hate, who she then blocks, Businesswoman, and says, oh, well, you're screwed, it's $5. Sorry. The customer service at Foodie Beauty Incorporated is quite questionable, I would say. And then she'll say, when she gets back with Natter, because in the beginning of the week, again, it was bad. It was nasty. She was appalled. Then she found a way to give him another chance. Okay. The therapy is dealing with abuse in an ongoing relationship. I'd be surprised about a therapist or a professional who would listen to a discussion about someone who said that they were in a relationship that was abusive in every way and would after that give a blessing to a trip to Toronto. Now, we're all individuals and we can all do whatever we like. Of course we can. We have freedoms. Freedoms are important. I enjoy my freedoms. I am an American. I enjoy the freedoms we have. Sometimes we have more, sometimes we have less. It depends who's in charge. Every 4 to 8 years, actually. So it's a little bit different. But being able to do whatever one wants doesn't necessarily mean there's no consequences for other people who may have relied on me for a commitment I have made, who I've promised something to, who I've told they can rely on me at any given time. And when I'm talking to a lover, who I will drop everything for and drive over and see, and any inkling they want to have physical activity, let them talk to me any old way, touch me in a way that I don't like. It doesn't matter if it's sexual or not. Don't pat my camel hump. Don't do it. It's not nice. So, at any rate, her behavior has changed in this relationship with Natter. She got Pete's to lie. Now, she's playing reindeer games coming home. Pete's isn't alive. We'll get to Pete's in a minute, don't worry. Pete's is sitting in one of his lives. And God love him, his lives look okay. He's got people to talk to. Pete's needs people. Pete's needs people. He's socially so awkward. But he needs some people around him. And I guess in place of the friend he lives with, he'll go hunting and make some online. Because she's not as available. Because she's pursuing another part of her life that she thinks is more important than not being his friend. But then being home. She got Pete's to lie for her. That's sucking him in, because Pete's doesn't know how to lie. I don't think he knows. Elaborate? Possibly. Some other things. But he had to come on her stream and say, sorry, she was the one who lied. She called when he was on stream. He shut the stream down immediately. Which makes me think, oh, Pete's, what a nice guy. And then she comes on and goes live. You know what I mean? Like, after he shut his off for her because he thought she was in a bad spot, she comes on live later. She didn't know that she called him in the middle of his stream. So I'm thinking, Pete's, what a nice guy. And then she comes home and goes on. I'm like, you... What? What? Really? I don't know. She's so comfortable and sound in her decisions that she deletes all the community posts. This week, all the posts had no community posts. All the comments were shut off. Not community posts, sorry, comments. They were all shut off. The comment section on the community posts were all shut off. And she went spreading her oats. They went to, I don't know, some zoo and then some other places. And I can't imagine they were at any of them for more than a few minutes. And she went with him. And she was showing off underwear she was going to bring like she wasn't going to bring him. Was she going to wear slutty underwear and have a one-night stand in Toronto? I mean, she could. But would she? No, because Mr. Man would get very upset. You know, as long as they're moving on, she better not step out of pocket or anything. He thinks they're friends. I don't think he cares. And when he texts her wifey this and they've brought up marriage that, he's just blowing smoke at her to keep her around. It's so rude. It's so mean to do that. Being in a relationship with her is kind of like high drama, high maintenance. It just seems like it would be a lot to date her. There's people who are up for it. There was at least 2 who did it for years. And then now, not so much. Now they're not as interested. And the guy she's with now, this is tolerable to her. If she's willing to put up with this, that's fine. She has every right to do whatever she wants. But to ask anyone, I'm not asking anyone to co-sign anything. If you don't like it, don't watch. If I was watching someone I had an investment in, because I liked their channel or whatever, and I thought they were getting hurt or abused in some way, I'm not the guy who calls 911 in Canada, or whatever their version is, to report abuse. That's not my thing. A lot of this happened off camera, and she has a history of being dishonest. So am I going to nail some guy to the wall who I don't know? I don't like him. But do I know that he did what he did, aside from what she says? I don't know. I don't know. So the last thing I have about moving on, and then we'll kind of move along to Foodie Booty the friend. In this relationship that she's in, and apparently what we're seeing that she'll tolerate, which makes me sad, because I want to say even, she could do better. There's better guys who make better food with better D all across Canada, I'm sure. We don't have to settle for this. We don't have to have high drama every week. She does like drama. She said as much as she likes drama. But every one of those tears is avoidable. Every one of the crying sessions, the anxiety sessions, this is a chosen situation. She's not living in, they don't share a home or children. I don't doubt that she's a little afraid of him because either he'll leave or hurt her. But you can't build a relationship on fear, I don't think. Fear that they'll leave, fear that they'll this, because it's a constant bit of anxiety. And if Mark was showing me a bunch of pictures of the guys who send him pictures on YouTube, I wouldn't be okay with that, probably. I'd laugh for a little while. Our commitment is pretty strong, so I'd probably, I'd look. But if it was like an ongoing thing, and the point of it was to make me feel insecure, or to keep me in my place, like, hey, you have me, I could have all these other people too, that'd be like, right across the face, 5 across the eyes. Not for Mark, maybe another asshole if I was dating them. Mark's too nice for that, I got lucky. So I could see her being mad, but the sturm and drag and the back and forth, and we were dating a week ago, and we're not dating now, and then maybe we'll go get married. And why would you guys think we'd get married in Toronto? Because none of your other decisions make sense either. Not one. So, whatever. And she went on a rant, and it was today. My mental health hasn't been good. I'm still grieving. Grandma's back in the picture now for grieving. And I don't doubt that she's grieving. But all this grief and other stuff always comes at a time when it's to bury some other, hot topic that's going on. It's meant to throw out a smoke bomb and disappear stage left. So, hopefully people won't belabor what was going on before. And as things tend to get more and more outrageous as the channel goes on, and as this, I don't really talk about it like arc or this or that. When I make my notes, I break it into sections, but I don't really think about a person's life as being so dramatic. I mean, if she ever released that this was like half reality series, half, whatever it is, I'd be like, well, that makes sense. Because no thinking person would do shit this dumb. But this is where she's at in her life right now. She's making every decision she says she wants to make. I don't believe it. I think he's making decisions for her. So, all right. Last thing, her therapist, who she says, deals with everything by avoidance. Did anyone need to have a therapist tell them that? I mean, bravo that she's in treatment. But I could have watched a few videos and told you that. I mean, the behaviors are all over her house. Missing going to see people, getting shots, going for medicine, going to doctors. Didn't we have an extreme fatty liver? Diabetes be damned. I find it very difficult to believe she's the exact same weight for months and months. But that's between her and herself. She knows what's the truth and what doesn't. And if she doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie, then that's an issue all its own, worth bringing up to the therapist. So we'll just leave that. We'll leave that in her court. Now, Foodie Beauty, the friend. Now, I kind of broke it down into the few friends that she has who at least make it to the channel most often. So there's Pete's, and the 2 cats that she has, BBJ and Sam, who she's had for a long time, and who she freaked out about rehoming. People were upset because she had mentioned as a sidebar about, in so many words, it was interpreted that she said she was going to rehome her elderly cat. She flipped shit in the community post about how she's not going to rehome her elderly cat, and she couldn't believe people would think as much. I'm sorry, I think you would. I really think you would, especially for him, if he asked. Would you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I think you would. And that's awful. But, you know, there's other things I said she would never go that far, and she has. I don't know. I'd have to see her keep them, you know. So, as far as the friend, she gets a bad reputation for being a friend because she promises stuff and then maybe falls through a little bit. Um, she's not being a good friend to Pete's, according to a lot of folks. She never has been a super friend. I think a lot of people have come down on her for that before with Pete's, because Pete's, where they're renting, can't afford the place on his own. But that's why we have roommates. He's out of touch, I think, with public transportation and has an issue with driving. She's driving him around places, but now she's like rarely home. And he's unemployed. I don't know if he had extended leave because he was working from home, but his mental health had some concerns. And so he wasn't working. So now he's a man living in a house where she's never home, and he's isolated to his room with, unfortunately, his late cat, Timbit, who had to be euthanized. So, I feel for Pete's right here in this situation. He's a creeper. He has creeper appeal, I understand, and he dresses like the trench coat mafia when he goes out of the house, but he's a pushover. So, she says in that house, now let's remember avoidance here, that she does all the cleaning. The house is clean for probably 3 days a year. And then it's boxes and boxes, which Pete breaks down, and boxes, which he takes out. I mean, she cleans the counter, I think. I've seen her load the dishwasher, and that kind of stuff. The idea that she pushes back and forth of, I do this and he does that, and it's reciprocal. He doesn't really do more than me. You know, she can't clean when she's depressed. She can't cook when she's depressed. She can't XYZ when she can't do anything when she's depressed. There is a difference between being depressed and being lazy, too. Depressed people, there's a lot of depressed people who get up every day, don't really like their life so much, but they go through the motions and get the day done. I have bipolar disorder. I am no miracle. I am no saint. You know, I got well despite myself, to be pretty frank. And sometimes you have to push through. I mean, because that's part of being a grown-up. It's a part of being, in my case, a man. And that's how you go through life. You find other ways to cope. Because if you live with depression, you don't have a choice. It's not going to snap away. It takes some... You got to be in the works. At least a little bit. Some sort of something. And besides going to therapy off and on, she really hasn't done a whole lot. And the things that truly disgust me are next. Okay. So, this week, unfortunately, Pete's cat Timbit died. Timbit was an older cat that came with Pete's when he moved in with Chantal. Pete's had feline leukemia. Okay. Hard to treat. It's, you know, it's hard on the cat. So, when they got him, Timbit, into the house, it stayed in Pete's room the whole time because it could spread it to Chantal's other cats. So the bargain, however, turned out, for the cat's safety and for, I think, somebody's convenience, it stayed in the room. Pete seemed okay with it. Timbit didn't seem to want to come out of the room. Whatever. So she took her other two cats, I think the day before, or before that, to the vet. She mentioned it in one of her driving vlogs, that BBJ and Sam had to go to the vet. It was weird that 2 days later there was a vet emergency and then Timbit had to go. Nothing suspicious, I don't think. It's just everything happened all at the same time. So Timbit had to be euthanized. He was very sick and wasn't going to get better, and she had said in the community post, it was everybody's decision to euthanize Timbit. She had brought Pete's home and she was going to stay with him for the afternoon and evening. Good friend. She was going to stay in case he needed her for something. That's a good friend. Next! She didn't stay. She didn't stay the whole day. She left. And went out and went to go see her friend, Natter. And Natter, Potato. I don't care if I say his name wrong. I don't like him. And went to his place. So people framed her as the worst friend ever. And I have to be honest, I think it was kind of shitty to leave. No. If you're looking at the last line of the post where she went mad, her last thing she says is, I'm allowed to be with whoever I want to be, whoever I want at any time. Chantal fires back with practical statements when you challenge her on being emotionally cruel to somebody. Saying to Pete's, I'll be home in the afternoon, evening. In her spat back with her angry post was, he's a grown man. He's asleep. What do you expect me to do? I can only think what I might do if, Bandit died. I don't even want to think about it, but if Bandit passed away, I'm going to be a wreck and I'm already upset about it, and he's only like 5. And I said, Mark, can you stay around today because I might be kind of weepy off and on, and then went to bed. But I woke up 2 hours later, or 3 hours later, and I felt sad. And he was gone. Because I was sleeping. So he took off to go hang out with his boyfriend. Well, say we weren't boyfriends or whatever. His pool boy. And he wasn't here. That feels like a promise broken to me. Now, I know she didn't lie. She just changed her mind, and we know how that works. Man, she should have been an attorney. Like the kind that chases ambulances. She would have been probably pretty good. I think that's not me. I think that's not nice. I think it's not nice to leave. Make a promise, keep a promise. What if at 5 o'clock he got up and wanted to get something to eat? And your friend's gone. And he doesn't have a lot of friends. And frankly, I think he's a cat kind of guy. Pete's the kind of guy that needs a cat. Someone to keep him stable, a kind of comforty animal type thing. Not that he diagnostically has anything wrong, not wrong, but different going on with his mental health or anything like that. But I think he benefits from a pet. It's someone to like. I've seen him on camera hugging her pets and saying he likes them. I think he needs one. I don't know if the idea of replacing the cat really quick with another cat is a good idea. Some people it is, some it's not. But he needs a new furry best friend, I think. Grieve as long as you need to, but I think he's a kitty kind of guy. He needs it. So, and this is the last true bullshit kind of thing that I have thought about with her. And friendship in general, but I guess with Pete's. She'll like her statement about, well, I'm allowed to do whatever I want with whoever I want. That's true. But in the context of what's going on with Pete's, it's also unkind. Now, it's your provocative. I'm stuck on, we didn't do Foodie Beauty, the sex kitten. It's her prerogative to not feel emotionally responsible for anything that's going on with Pete's. She doesn't have to. But as a friend, you'd think she would. I think she's very easily offended when people don't take her feelings seriously. Like, if nobody does. Like, if at checkout at the fresh grocer, they don't take her seriously, she's offended and hurt and shamed and blah, blah, blah. But then if she says she'll be there for somebody else, she decides that based on her assessment, she doesn't think the other person should be upset, should be mad, should be hurt, because she thinks she wouldn't be. So on her assessment, they shouldn't be either. And if they are, it's their fault because it's not her responsibility to take on other people's feelings. It's a talk about avoidance. Talk them out of caring about, talk people out of their feelings, and then you can avoid responsibility. So I was not thrilled with her this week. She doesn't know me from whoever. She doesn't have to acknowledge what I said about her all week. It's not really my business. I don't know who she is. But I was disappointed with how things went with Pete's. I thought it was, I'm sorry, I thought it was selfish. The other stuff going back and forth with the previous sexual assault, that's a major charge. You're going to have to go through higher authorities than YouTube. You can shame him to death, and frankly, I think he deserves it. I'm not starting it. I'm not encouraging it, though. But police would have to be involved. I'm not going to jump in and say I think this evidence is X, Y, or Z. I think it's almost too sensitive to talk about. So, I don't know. I didn't care for that. Her channel's still up and running. I didn't realize she had that many Beezers with her. So that's a steady income that'll keep coming in. So she's fine on that end, except for how much she splits with him. And I don't know. As a lover, it's going to be more of this back and forth Ike and Tina Turner bullshit for I don't know how long. So, whatever. I'm just watching the show at this point. I've said before, and I've caught flack for it, I don't dislike Chantal, but almost every single one of her behaviors makes you want to put your fist through the wall, kind of. It's just, when you watch someone and think, this is how they treat people. This is how they let people treat them. Like Chantal would probably, I would think, not treat a guy in this situation like that because she has her own angles as far as Natter goes. She has the money, she pays the rent, she does that, so she has some leverage on him. But how many girls do you think he has that are paying his rent and doing X, Y, and Z? And then what are they doing? Going through each other's phones and seeing who's lying, and I want screenshots and conversations. It sounds like a relationship really built on trust. Really, really, really. It's your prerogative. Do you do your life? That's your thing. But don't expect everyone to be happy for you if you periodically, which I mean every 3 days, talk about how the guy that you're like so in love with makes you sick. And then you try to rally support from the people around you, and they say, yeah, we didn't like him to begin with. And you come back 4 days later and say, if you guys don't like him, you don't have to watch. That's fucking with people. People who are paying to see you, and you're telling them, fuck off if you don't like it. Not cool. So next week, more drama. Another breakup with Natter, maybe 2 going into next weekend. Poor Pete's. I see you, Pete's. I hear you, Pete's. I hope you're sleeping soundly. I'm sorry about Timbit. I live my cats too. And we'll see. Hopefully this will be gone by then. I didn't realize how awful it was until I'm looking at it. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And I hope you come back too. Mark?
Yeah.
Could you come here, please?
Yeah.
And share some parting thoughts? Come hither, come hither.
I am here.
You guys know
Everybody.
Mark. So we're wrapping up. I want to hear your thoughts about the lover, the friend, the businesswoman, the vixen, the the tawdry, you know.
It's getting harder and harder to watch, isn't it? Seriously though, just I mean, when you think like you've kind of heard it all, boom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Well, as far as these little points here, the friend. Okay, I don't know. You can't trust her. As a friend, like, I wouldn't want her as a friend because you can't trust her. And, if you can't have the basics of being able to trust your friend,
Yeah.
like, why would you have them as a friend? Unless, you consider them an acquaintance or, someone
just
you
a
only mess
roommate.
with every once in a while or
Yeah.
something, right? You know what I mean? But a friend, I don't know that she knows how to be a true friend. I don't. This has been going on so long now that it's hard to compare old Chantal to this Chantal. Do you know what I mean? Like, prior to the drug use and nads and everything, what could she have been a good friend? Was she a good friend? I don't know.
She had other friends on her channel before him.
She did. And we don't hear anything about other friends now except turmoil. So, the lover, well, one thing can be said about her. She does stand behind her man, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, she does.
Okay.
I know I'm rolling my
leave it at
eyes,
that.
but it's
We'll leave it at
it's
that.
not my business. But if it was, no, I'll say
If it was,
If it was.
we'll just say this: she'll be putting money on his books pretty soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess she's a loyal lover.
Save yourself. This ends when you say it stops. Just take care
Exactly.
of yourself, okay? And this doesn't count as taking care of yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Going to therapy to work on an abusive relationship that you are still in.
Right.
Is
right.
It's
And
counterproductive.
has, admitted everything to people who watch her, asks for advice, wants sympathy, and then turn the page. I don't want your sympathy. I don't want your advice. You don't tell me what to do because I gotta be me. Oh my God, it's the same old song and dance all the time. And then as far as the businesswoman goes, I'll give her that.
She's good with money. She's good with... She knows the deal. She knows how to play.
She knows how to do the YouTube thing. She knows, she's still making money. She knows the drama equals money. She knows, so... other than that, though, I don't know about if she's in real life. Like, could she run a business? She's
had
not.
bankruptcy before.
Mm-hmm.
And she did need, I believe, Pete's to get into the place. Because he
Yes.
had decent credit, but a lower income.
Right.
So, but that's...
But,
Still,
as far as being good with money, no. Not
No,
at all.
she can bring it
No,
in,
she
but
can bring it in, but she can't manage
I
it.
wonder if she
Not
has
at
like an
all.
IRA or something like that. Because she's
I
an
don't know.
independent contractor of, was it Google,
Yeah,
YouTube?
doesn't come with
They
benefits.
send you a 1099 in the U.S.
Right,
and you get it once
right.
a year, and then you have to pay your own taxes out of
Yeah.
it too, which if you don't could lead to something like, I don't know, somebody come and taking their share.
Yeah, true.
Well, thank you, Mark.
But that was it, and we just have to remember, like, most talk this last week has not been about the drug use. She is still actively using drugs.
Mm-hmm.
She is still. And the main connection with her and Nads, now she's going to say, I love him.
He can cook.
Love.
He can cook.
And he can cook.
And he makes me eggplant.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's that,
Yeah.
But, the main drive, the main thing there is being able to obtain and use drugs. That is the main thing that she stays connected with him.
Yeah.
This up and down still went on. The being high on camera, the rolling of their eyes, the slurring of the speech, the being very, very hyper, and then being like, it's all still there. It's all still there, and she's still using drugs. So it's hard to watch from a professional aspect. It's extremely hard to watch because this has been going on quite some time now.
Yeah.
But she's not taking any action to better herself. She's not, she's not, and it's a sad, sad situation.
Very sad.
It is.
Not
and
unfortunate.
I'm finding it harder and harder to watch. I'm like, I cringe now whenever it's on. When I cringe now. I do.
Because I'm watching her during the week trying to
keep up
with her content.
Right. And and nothing is, all the lives are the same. There's no the content isn't good. Like it's all a lot of the same stuff.
No,
but
live streaming, picking
but
cat
I
shit
do
up
care
off the
for
floor.
her as a fellow person,
as another
human being, as I do, and I want her to get well, and I really want her to get her shit together, because I am telling you, and I hope I'm wrong, we will read about her in the paper.
I've seen sicker people than her get better,
have to.
but I've seen people who made less risky choices pass away.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And you don't know where you are in the middle of that.
Right.
It could be tomorrow, it could be this afternoon.
She's such a distorted version of herself right now that she doesn't see any of this.
I know. She'd still be surprised, too.
Well, anyway, that's all I got.
Well, thank you, Mark. And thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you gives you the alerts when we have new videos, when we go live. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and contact info is listed below as well. Thank you again, and we are going live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's our usual Sunday live. It's pretty chill. We have good mods. Open topic, open discussion. Foodie Beauty always comes up, plus some other folks. So feel free to stop by. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you tomorrow. Bye. Say goodbye, Mark.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.